All right. You guys had a long time. I'm just going to start right away with a little bit for the audience until the jury comes. So, who of you here is currently in a relationship? Who of you is in a relationship? Cool. Very awesome. So you guys are kind of my target group, right? And we can do a little experiment, right? If you take out your phone right now and you send your loved one a message, like a really nice one, maybe something out of the box, send him or her, I really miss you, or I'm looking forward to see you later, come home. I'll bet you during those 10 minutes that I'm going to be up here, you're going to get a response, and it's going to be a nice response. And that shows how emotionally we can communicate with our mobile phone, right? And that's basically what we're doing. And I see the jury is set up, so I'm almost happy to start whenever you guys are ready. Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Power of Two. My name is Roman, and I'm co-founder of Twixt. And I'm very happy to introduce you to my ex-girlfriend right there. Meet Morgane. She sparked an idea a while ago because we were on a long-distance relationship, and I found her one day how she was with her phone and a little book, and she was copying in there. And I was like, hey, Morgane, what are you doing? And she's like, yeah, I'm copying your text messages into my journal because sometimes you write nice stuff, especially when you're drunk, and I would like to keep it, right? And I was like, okay, what is happening with our generation? Where are the love letters of our times? They're still there. They're just changed medium. They're not on pen and paper anymore. Now we transmit our love message in 140 characters. But there's nothing out there for it to solve, to cater to my needs, right? So there are awesome companies out there, LinkedIn, doing a great job for all my colleagues and business contacts and people that I meet on conferences. Twitter is doing a great job on connecting me with strangers and followers and whoever I have. And Facebook doing an amazingly job with connecting with my friends, even from kindergarten, whom I don't even want to see anymore. But they're all doing a cool job on these sets of relationship. But there's no technology really out there for my deepest relationship with the person that I love the most and that I communicate the most. I'm set alone to a set of tools that is made for masses, for text messages, WhatsApp messages, or even like Google shared calendar, all these kind of things, but nothing is really made for me. And that's why we built Twixt. Twixt is an app for couples to share, have fun, and get things done. And the coolest thing about it is that it's not only a messenger, like a red phone. Like Obama, he has the red phone on his desk. Now, after the Cold War, it's directly connection to Michelle, right? So when that rings, he knows it's important. And that's what Twixt is. Twixt is a direct line to the most important person. And what it does, it's not only a messenger with some fun feature. The key thing is that it automatically takes everything that you share and journals it onto your calendar, building the tapestry of your relationship automatically while you do what you do anyways. So the photos that you see here, you didn't put them there. Those were the photos that you shared on that day. And if you want to know what did you talk about on Valentine's Day this year, the sweet conversation where you told her how much you loved her and where you had like this kind of sweet conversation, all you have to do is go to the calendar, select the day, photos of the day, messages of the day. So the endless scrolling of what did we talk about just like a while ago is over. In addition, it's one of the only messenger, at least what I know, but in the world, that lets you favorite your content. So out of, let's say, all the communication that you have between when are you going to be home, don't forget the milk, there's also the sweet messages that I just talking about my girlfriend. So she can now favorite messages and photos, and we put them in a keepsake in a special place just for us too. So Twixt basically is the one-stop shop. I've heard this term a couple of times here, so I want to use it as well. It's the one-stop shop for a couple to keep all the memories and all the communication in one place. And it's also one of the very few apps that really serves on all three times. On the one hand, we are proud and taking care of your past. We're cherishing the past. We're sharing the present and planning the future together. So we are the one that basically turns moments into memories right away. So when we see this one here, this is a prototype that we're working on. It has the cool working title of 5 Favorite Snapshot. So those are like me and my girlfriend now, and those photos that we shared in our messenger stream are 5 photos that we favorited. And now we can automatically run a script on our database and present this data back to you in a delightful and beautiful way. And that's what we're doing. So we are like one of the companies that actively convert your real-time memories into value. So we give value to what you have done in this app. So that's actually also something we are very unique in. So in one hand, we're exactly opposite of Snapchat. That's where we are, right? Where Snapchat is all about the moment now, 6 seconds, photo is gone. We're like on the totally other end of the sides, where your content is king, where we treat your content as it's supposed to be treated. And of course, we do have our direct competitor that we have in the space. They're basically what they're doing is they have a great messenger that works for couples with some fun features, but none of them are working on this like long-term value proposition, so to say. We can go to the questions probably. You guys are going to have something. I'm very happy to present you quickly my team. I'm also very happy to have a very female team. I think that's also very important in this line of, in this kind of space. So Bianca, for instance, she is the former director and founder of the IAB Mexico, and Renata, she was working a tech lead at Cyber Dynamics, which is a governmental company, and she was working on top secret projects. She couldn't even tell us really what she was working on there. And of course, we have a full-time dev team that works on the project. So we look about the opportunities. We all know Facebook is big business. I don't need to talk about this. We all know that networks, LinkedIn, are big business. And we truly believe that there is a big business for a company that caters to the needs of a couple, to the deepest relationship that there is, right? When we think about with whom do we communicate the most, when we think about that a couple kind of is a small enterprise, you know, they have to have purchasing decisions and all this kind of stuff. And that's why I think there's got to be a company who serves this underserved relationship. So when we look at the market, right now there's no dominant player in the market. There are about 60 million smartphone users in relationships in the US alone, 80 million in Latin America, and that is actually growing very, very fast. And we have couples communicate 10 times per day, right? So those are the ones that really use the app all the time. And the coolest thing about it that's the couples are big spenders. When you think about how much money have you spent on all of your Facebook friends and how much money have you spent on your LinkedIn colleagues or anyways, that's the question. In comparison, how much money have you spent on your partner or with your partner? It's a tremendous amount of services that you can provide there. When you look at our little metrics here, so Twix today, our users use us 15 to 20 times a day. Right, so we can assume that we're either on the dock or at least on the first side of the phone. So that's also kind of our goal. We have a retention rate of 44%. And downloads today, since we started small, is we have 50,000 downloads. So far, we're going to reach the 100,000 in 3 months, and then we're going to grow. Good question, how are you going to do that? And for this, we have a very cool plan set out. Like besides, obviously, the whole media work that people do and social networking, we're working with celebrities. We are signing a deal, or we have signed a deal with Marta de Baile. I don't know who he's from Mexico. You might know of it. You know, a big celebrity, kind of the opera of Mexico City. We want to create a case here for other countries. In app stores, we're in negotiations are already confirmed for Google. We're on a program with them. So once we're through this program, we're going to be featured on the Google Play. And of course, also carriers. In Latin America, we're in talks with Usacell to do a promotion and maybe even preloading our app. We're working with brands. Here we have Nestlé. We're now working on a big campaign for Valentine's Day this year, but also on some other in-app product placement ideas, and also international partners like Goldbach Media is a stock-listed media company in Zurich, and we are looking forward to working with them in the German-speaking market. And then, of course, we have the typical PR. We have PR companies who actually work for us for free because they love working for us and building a case for their story. So we have that in the German-speaking area in Mexico and in the United States. So that's our plan of growth. And yeah, so you see that there's a lot going on, and our mission is, and that's what we're really trying to do, we wake up every day, and that's our thing, to making relationships better and helping people in a relationship to not have this underserved situation anymore and have something nice and delightful for that. So I'm looking forward to your questions, and I hope you will join us in our little love revolution here to have this underserved relationship started. Thank you very much.
So we have just under a minute for questions, so let's get them in.
All right. So let's get down and dirty. How do you make money?
How do you make money? Look at this, next slide. I knew that's going to be question number one. So we're going to start in QA. We're going to start with in-app purchases. So like we also have a user base in Asia, and we know there's stickers, stuff like that, sponsored shared moods. Product placement, what we talked about was Nestlé. It's going to be sponsored moods. We are very far with that. And then obviously we have premium subscription. We found out that people are willing to pay in their relationship. Up to 20 bucks a year is like the minimum, most of them, for the services. And then there are many other places like Marketplace, One-Click Flowers, Valentine's Day, and then of course Target. There are many ways of how we can monetize. And also when you look at this little snapshot here, this is something where we realize that users really love that, and they would be willing to pay for that.
Great. So what percentage actually of population are in relationships? I mean, are you targeting dating? LTV on dating could be 3 months to 6 months, but then long-term relationships could be years, right? So
yes.
Where are you guessing you're going to be?
Of course, in the future, we see all of them covered, but right now, we focus mainly on what we call the happy couple stage. So that's actually, so when you're in the relationship stage, it's like you're committed already, and you already had your first fight, and between 25 and 35 years old. So that's like the range of a target market. That's where we concentrate, where let's say, where our app resonates the most with. So they're already committed. They know the partner has the potential to stay together for a long time. And actually, we're also very successful with mommies because they just love the calendar, how it builds up with all the baby photos. When they break up, then they break up. Then, well.
Add another person then?
No. So there would be,
Delete.
at the moment, that's a good question. It's question number 3 always. So at the moment, there are 3 things. Like either you tell us I want to keep it, or you want to have it deleted, then we delete all the data, or whatever. In the future, obviously, we will kind of work on a way, but we will have users tell us what they want.
All right,
One more question. Then, for these kind of apps, the most important thing is engagement, and you gave a few statistics, but can you elaborate a little more? So, for example, for the 15 to 20 interactions per user per day, over what time period has that been? Because I guess people would be worried, this is really cool for 2 weeks, or do people trail off after that? And then in terms of your downloads, you said 50,000 downloads, but how many of those downloads are active users?
Yeah, so we have what we do, we test always every version. So like our version retention is 44% of the retention. That's after 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks, we retain 44% of our users. And those are then also converted to like the active users. And those are like the 15 to 22, those are like on average. Obviously, we also have users, no doubt about it, who try it out and for some reason don't like it. But then we have one that use it more often, that use it more often than 20 times a day. Does that kind of answer you? I'm really happy to share more data also, like, let's say, not on a stage environment.
Yeah, we can continue it after the pitches.
Cool.
Great. Thank you very much.
You.
Good afternoon. My name is Del Medina, and that's the kind of name you get when you have hippie Latino parents. I am the founder and CEO of Gladys because Gladys cares. It is a mobile app that helps home health providers have a better relationship with their clients and their family members. This is mi tía Gladys. She was an engineer. If you went on any train or been on a road in Connecticut or New York, chances are that she worked on it. Amazing woman, and she's my inspiration. Unfortunately, today, she's living with Parkinson's. That means that she needs to have round the clock time of folks coming in and out of her home. Some of them are professional, some of them are not. More importantly, keeping track of how she's doing with her health has become more and more difficult. Now, with Gladys, we're really serving 2 users. We're serving the home health provider, which means it's either a certified person that comes in that has a certification from their state or their local government, or with somebody who's within the gray market, which means it's someone that has a great amount of empathy and understands how to care for them. Unfortunately, these people do not have tools. They're in the empathy business. They're in the care business. They're not necessarily in the software business, and they are never in front of a screen besides a television. So by using mobile, we really hope to be able to capture the information that they're currently writing on pads of paper. It will be able to help them create the reports, but more importantly, for us, it's going to be HIPAA compliant. Now, taking care of my aunt has become almost a full-time job for my cousin. It is extremely difficult to figure out what's going on when, because she can't be there. She has a job. She is of that sandwich generation. Now, to be able to find out on a consistent basis, clearly, what's going on with my Aunt Gladys is hugely helpful. She can find out, has she taken her medicines? How is she feeling? Is she running a temperature? Do I need to get in touch with her doctor? That's what we hope to be able to provide for the family members. Now, this is a huge market that serves the elderly, disabled, and injured. That means that at this moment in time, there's not a lot of tools that serve this market, and we find that this is a great opportunity for us to be able to go into. And labor costs are the biggest part of it. Most home health associates, whether in the gray market or actually that are certified, one of the issues that they have is that they spend a lot of time going from X to Y place. So transportation is an issue. And when they do, because now of new compliance issues that we're coming up on, have to go in and import something or input something into a screen, a lot of these times these people are not paid because they're hourly workers to come in and do this. Some of them are, some of them are not. This would enable them to be able to put down their notes, put in their information at that time, right away. More importantly, take a picture so that we can see how a person is doing, which helps not only in terms of compatibility and caring, and you can keep track of somebody, but is actually extremely helpful within the medical sphere of the person's care. Now, my team is, I'm really, really lucky. I feel very lucky to have found these folks. We just finished a beta that we've built. We're hoping that in February it'll be ready to launch in 2 markets. We want to test it out. So if any of you know anybody that's working within the home health, please let me know. Now, Andreas has built this. He literally built the beta because he was supposed to go to Mexico, and for some reason his vacation got canceled, and so he built me the beta in 2 weeks. He's very hardworking. He's extremely passionate about technology, and he's been fantastic to work with. My medical advisor is Chris Anderson. She's actually an RN. And one of the things I love about Chris, besides being a great thinker and strategist, is that she actually knows what the issues are within the medical sphere of implementing new technologies. And my financial advisor is actually my cousin, because she is helping me put together our freemium model. So what we're looking at is actually a communication tool that helps you keep in touch with the people you love at the moment that they need the most amount of care. And at the same time, as a professional, for you to have the best software tool available to you to see trends, so that if a new medication is introduced and suddenly somebody's blood pressure is going up, guess what? You're going to get dinged. So that is the proposition we're trying to build. I'm really excited to be here, and I really want to thank you.
Hi there. My name is Brennan. Good to meet you. So you've built something. It's hard.
Yes, we currently have a beta, okay. And we're in the process of building a back end to be able to bring it out. And we're hoping by February we'll be done and be able to test it out in 2 markets.
Cool. So it actually would have been great to see a screenshot or something, so we had more of a concept of what you're working towards. But I think with a lot of products like this, it's unclear when you start. This isn't a criticism. It's unclear when you start what of the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 features are really going to be useful and adopted. So of the set of things that you think this could be used for, like what is the highest likelihood in your mind, and then what's maybe an example of something that is just sort of like a shot in the dark that might be amazing, but you have no idea in terms of like specific things that people might do with it?
Yeah, actually, this is our fourth design that we're on. So we've done a lot of conversations with people about what is it that you need? How do you need it? How are you going to get this information? And the four things that we're going to be able to put on right away is the physical and mental state, nutrition, and prescriptions. The kind of like, we don't know if people are going to adopt it, but it's something that people have asked us for, is the photo. Now, HIPAA requires the following thing. You cannot keep a photo of a patient on your phone. So we're having to actually build a technology that enables you to get the photo, but it doesn't stay on your phone, so that we don't have any issues around with HIPAA.
Actually, I have a second question, which is, if you look at products out in the market today and pieces of them or functions of them, which ones are inspiring you in which part of your product? Like, oh, we see this piece of this product that is not made for our market at all, but it, you know, we're picking that piece and
Well, actually, when I did my market research, one of the things, because my background has been in tech in the past and I've helped software building and all that sort of thing, is that I was coming from it from a software building kind of perspective. And then I realized that my biggest strength is actually not coming from the medical field, it's not coming from the tech field, it's coming from the interaction field. It's helping people interact and communicate, and I think a lot of people here can attest to that, that's one of my strong suits. And so that in having conversations with folks, one of the things that came up was, what you're designing here is, we don't understand it. We're having a hard enough time when we go into an office and have to learn new software. And so what we've created is actually, and I would love to have a screenshot for you, by the way, is a very simple, very simple interaction, because most people, if they're in this field, what they're using are things like Twitter, Facebook, simple, easy to use, not a lot of buttons information.
I actually just want to make a quick comment. This is definitely an awesome thing that people need. I think it will help all of us in your future pitch. Maybe you can even say like Snapchat is HIPAA compliant. Yes. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Snapchat actually is HIPAA compliant, yeah.
So it will be really interesting, not necessarily in like a list form of the feature, because you're actually doing the pitch. People would like to see like actual mock-up of how it will look like. You can even say, I'm building a Snapchat for older people. And then people get it right away. And then they want to find out why, because it's HIPAA compliance. And then all the other features is the details, but it's selling the dream and be able to see it right away.
Great, thank you so much.
Any other questions?
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'll leave it off to the next person.
Hello, I'm Roberto, founder of The Social Radio. Hello, I'm the founder of The Social Radio. We are creating a new way to consume social content through audio. So the idea starts a few years ago when I was stuck in a traffic jam, and I had a great idea to start reading to my Twitter timeline while I was driving. Then I didn't crash, but I realized that I should have been listening to it instead of reading it. So The Social Radio is a mobile and web app that lets you listen to your tweets so you don't have to read them. You can listen to your Twitter timeline, your Twitter list, trending topics, or any search on top of your favorite music. So the idea is that you can take advantage of your time while you are driving, running, working, or even while having a shower. I do that. And I'm not the only one. We have been broadcasting more than 15 million tweets to more than 50,000 registered users, over 100,000 downloads organically. We didn't spend money on advertising so far, and we got 4.5 stars on the app stores. The app is very simple to use. You just connect your Twitter account with The Social Radio. Then you select what content you want to listen to, whether it's your Twitter timeline, Twitter list, recommended content, or any search. And you are ready. You are listening to your favorite tweets on top of your favorite music. By default, we play your iPod music or your MP3s from your Android. But if you want, you can switch your music to any music provider. Like, you can be listening to your favorite Pandora station or your Spotify music, And when a tweet comes up, the music is lowered down, and you listen to the tweets just on top of the music. We also have a very important screen for us, because when you are driving, if you listen to something that you really care about, you can just bookmark that tweet to follow up later, or you can retweet to interact with your followers. We're running 6 languages right now. We have both male and female voices for each language. And we also been working in a text improvement engine that allows us to have a better text-to-speech conversion. So we don't actually play the tweets as they are written. We improve the text before converting that text into a speech. And we also have curation algorithm that allows us to cut the noise of Twitter and deliver to our users the best content to listen to. Our business model is pretty simple, at least the first 2 steps. It's a freemium with subscription model and promoted content for the users. And the third one is something that we are just starting to look after. It's a radio as a service model because we are working with Twitter, with Yammer, we are working with Facebook, and those are big social networks that we want to bring onto the experience. But there are tons of social networks that have like a couple of million users, a couple of 100,000 users, and they also want the same experience as we are building for Twitter, for their social networks. So we are testing right now with 2 small social networks, a radio as a service model, where they push the content to us, and we deliver their content through our platform. We are 3 founders from Argentina. I'm based here, but my team is back in Argentina. We are 3 software engineers with different backgrounds in technology. We also have a graphic designer and a marketing guy working with us. We have been awarded in different competitions in South by Southwest, App Circus, Startup World. We have been featured in Lotus Media, I'm going to see, and we have been selected by NXTP Labs, which is part of the TechStack Network, Venture Hub, and Startup Chile. And I have been also awarded by MIT last year as one of the top innovators of 2012. We have been featured in the following media. And as I said, we are creating a new way to consume social content. Thank you.
So Roberto, this is Mario. Question on the text-to-speech engine. So have you created your own? Are you leveraging some other technology? Give me more details on that.
We are definitely not building text-to-speech technology from scratch. What we are doing is we are taking the best tools that are out there. We are using different text-to-speech engines for different voices and different languages. So what we do is we focus on taking the most out of those technologies by improving the text before converting that text into speech. And when we have the speech, what we do is we create a Flipboard is working on the magazine concepts to create a great reading experience. We're doing the same with radio concepts. So we have both male and female voices, we have pauses, we have different music that makes the experience much better. So if you try the app, you will see that it's not the typical text-to-speech based app. And actually we have users that use the app for up to 6-hour sessions. So we have built a great experience around the text-to-speech technology that is already out there.
How have you protected yourself from being copied then? What's still unique about yourself that some other guy coming along the way with the text-to-speech engine is doing exactly what you do?
Yes, one thing is that in terms of the Twitter integration, a year ago Twitter changed the API rules. So if you want to do like a social radio for Twitter, you won't be able actually to do it because the API doesn't allow you to do that. And we went through a review process inside Twitter, and now we are one of the few apps that is authorized to use that. And in terms of our technology, I think that our key asset is we have been working in the social radio for 2 years now, and to bring this experience to the app, there are a lot of subtle things that we have been working on the technology and the text improvement engine, on our curation system, and how to put all the technology together. That's how we protect us. We don't have any patent or any.
So this is really cool. I guess I have one question as far as feature set. So one of the things I was thinking about is, well, how do you kind of respond back to the system?
Right now, we're focusing on consuming the content. So that's not our main objective right now. But if you want to reply a tweet, you can do that with Siri. Siri allows you to tweet. So if you listen to something that you want to reply, you can use it with Siri. But of course, our main goal is to be like a two-way platform where you can consume and interact. So our first step on interaction is to solve the most important things for right now for the users, that were, okay, I listened to something and I want to follow up, but I can't follow up just by replying. So you can bookmark the tweets and you can follow up later. And if you listen to something that is really interesting and you want to share with your friends, you can retweet right now. That's the only interaction that we have on the app right now, but of course the idea is to include different sorts of interactions in the future.
And sorry, just to be clear, is it only on Twitter so far? Because
no, right now it's Twitter, it's Yammer, but with Yammer we have a small integration. It's not on all the platforms. And on Facebook, we are working right now on the Facebook integration.
Got it. And then just to be clear, what was the rationale behind going to Twitter first, especially considering Facebook's engagement is 17 times that of Twitter? Because I actually think this is really cool and I would use it, but I view this as more of a feature than necessarily a business, even though Flipboard has been able to build a business on the visual side.
Yes, we started with Twitter, and because actually it was the use case. I was driving and I almost crashed because I was reading my tweets. And Twitter was a bit more easier to integrate in the social radio than Facebook is being right now that we are working on the Facebook integration. Why? Because Facebook is much more visual, but we have been working a lot on understanding which are those tweets that are more interesting to listen to. Because in Twitter you also have a lot of pictures, a lot of links, and I think that we have been doing a pretty good job on Twitter on that, and now we are starting to work on Facebook as well. But yes, the Facebook integration is a bit more challenging because the kind of content that is going on there. But of course, it will be a much bigger audience for us because right now we are very limited because not everyone is a Twitter active user. And adding Facebook to the mix will make our app like it will be much more cost efficient, the user acquisition for us, because right now we are losing a lot of users that are not even Twitter users. So I don't know if I have answered your question, but
well, I guess the feature point was trying to get at what's your business model, given this seems like something cool if I like Twitter a lot or if I like Facebook a lot to integrate. Well, who would pay for using this? And if not, wouldn't Facebook or Twitter just build it themselves?
In terms of the business model, you say yes.
Yeah.
Right now, users are not paying. But who will pay? It's the users. I think we have a huge engagement with users. We have from 10 to 30 hours of listening time from our users right now, a month. And there's no alternative. This is not a free app, and you have like another 10 free apps to choose. Right now, the app is free because we want to focus on the user experience. But we have been testing, and there are a few users that are willing to pay for the app.
All right. Thank you, Social Radio.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jose Huitron. Myself and my co-founder, Jose Guevara, are the team behind Crowdismo. Together, we are powering Latino genius everywhere. Meet Julia. She is a Latina, a social entrepreneur, and the founder of the Heartful Giving Project. Her mission is to bring the rich artisan craft, culture, and creativity of SUA, Ecuador, to the masses. She is part of a rising creative, Latino creative economy who's putting the I in ideas and the C in posible, who are embracing the urgency of now, making action their domain, and taking advantage of this moment in history and making it their moment. However, there's a problem. She needs money to launch her social venture, the Heartful Giving Project. And unfortunately, money doesn't grow on trees. In fact, gaining access to capital is like dating Darth Vader, except you can't use the Force. Brilliant people need resources and community. In fact, this is 0.01 is representative of the percentage of VC money that currently goes to African American and Latino entrepreneurs. In fact, minorities are 35% less likely to receive VC funding, and only 15% are able to turn a pitch into dollars.
So we're betting that the solution is going to be crowdfunding. So that's why we built Crowdismo, a rewards-based crowdfunding platform fueling innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship in the Latino community. So unlike traditional forms of funding, like loans and VC, crowdfunding gives you direct access to your target market and giving you market validation faster than ever. It also gives you access to capital, not just financial capital, but human capital. It gives you direct access to social networks, communities, and collaboration with your target market. So just to be clear about what crowdfunding is, you post your project on a site like Crowdismo, and you invite your community to come and help you make your project into a reality. In exchange for funds, you're offered rewards of various types. So why do we think crowdfunding is a solution? It's already started plenty of businesses out there. In the United States, it's grown to a $5 billion industry and growing fast. Also, since the past decade, the number of Latino-owned businesses has doubled and is now 3 million. So we're starting businesses faster than anybody else, and we need access to capital to start and sustain those businesses. So everybody knows the figure, $1 trillion in Latino spending here in the United States, and 2 billion of that is done online. So we know how to spend money, we know how to manage money. Once you start, you can't stop, right? So we want to take the 20 million Latinos that are spending money online and turn 10% of those into crowdfunders. That's 2 million Latino crowdfunders. If we can get them to pledge $25, which is the most common pledge amount in rewards-based crowdfunding, we can generate $48 million a year. And our business model is basically to take 5 to 9% of that in pledge fees.
So how are we going to get the word out? Well, we recognize that it takes a community to build a community. So we're looking at engaging at awesome events with our target audience. We're looking at building strategic alliances and partnerships with like-minded organizations and using a mix of paid, earned, and owned media, both inbound and outbound, thinking integratively. Our competition, Kickstarter, has obviously a big lead in crowdfunding. They focus on creative projects. Indiegogo is a little bit more open, allowing them access to a greater community. However, we're taking it a little bit further. We're playing on culture and we're playing on culture and identity, putting the Latino market front and center. Our unfair advantages include our sphere of influence. We're directly engaged with the same audience that we want to help and that we are helping to bring vision to reality. Our platform is focused on, it's comprised of a bilingual, bicultural focus. One of the most powerful things that separates us from Kickstarter and Indiegogo is we recognize that as project creators, as gente with awesome ideas, we don't just need money, but we need capital in all its forms. So we're allowing project creators on our site to tap in to additional resources beyond money. We're also building in an affiliate program and sponsored projects as well as what we call pre-launch, allowing project creators to build market validation and create awareness around their campaign. This is Paloma. She's 12 years old, and they say she's going to be the next Steve Jobs. That's very powerful that's an awesome truth. But what is even more amazing is the simple fact and the power of a simple request, which is háblame, which for us as Latinos, we recognize this, that if you speak to us, you put us front and center, the possibilities are endless.
So we launched last June. We've funded 2 great projects, and we've generated a lot of great PR. So we're looking to help fund a lot of other great creators. For example, Kevin, who's a young Latino entrepreneur and is developing RecCheck, an activity lifestyle mobile application. He's actually sitting down right there. We're also meet Naida. She's a Latina mom who's trying to challenge Latino stereotypes through art. Finally, we're looking forward to our first seed round, but we're also looking for mentors and partners with the right networks to help grow our influence and keep educating people about the value of crowdfunding. Also, people with startup experience, people that can help us scale our business the right way the first time. And more importantly, we're looking for people with pasión to power Latino genius everywhere. We're Crowdismo. Thanks for listening.
So a question on on your target. All right, so are you looking for Latino-led projects only, or is it open to the rest of the world? Are you targeting Latinos as only contributors and funders? And also, what is your business model? Are you taking equity? Is this a rev share with those that are contributors? How are you different from the Kickstarter? How are you different from in some of the other crowd-funded programs?
So we're targeting the U.S. Latino audience, but what we're finding is that our platform is garnering interest from not just the U.S. And we put this fact up there with the 3.2 million Latino-owned businesses as a testament to the fact that we're the fastest growing entrepreneurial segment in the country. And what we're playing on is the fact that we have a lot of ideas. And if anybody can buy into supporting our community, we feel that mi causa es su causa. My cause is your cause, and there's something about that community element that people buy into. In terms of differentiation, our platform is basically a rewards-based crowdfunding platform. So a project creator posts donation levels where people can donate money in exchange for rewards. And we take a percentage of the money that they raise. We offer both an all or nothing option or an everything helps option. Do you want to?
Yeah, right now we're obviously rewards based, and crowdfunding is expanding in a lot of different industries. So we're not necessarily restricting ourselves to there, and we are kind of focusing on the United States, but there are a lot of challenges with operating in other countries. So we're not actively pursuing those right now. But I mean, the future is completely open right now. Crowdfunding is $96 billion worldwide. Like I said, expanding to a bunch of different industries. We're just focusing on the low-hanging fruit, which is the industry the target market that we understand the best.
And what's separating us, in addition, is the fact that not only can project creators list the money that they need, the amount that they need to power their ideas and bring vision to reality, but we're allowing them to post, what are your non-financial needs? Do you need a designer? Do you need a collaborator? Do you want to build a new multicultural space or a co-working space? We have a candidate that's wanting to do, she's launching a co-working space in the community, and she needs collaborators. She needs instructors to fill up this space. So she's going to list not just the money that she needs, but these other resources. So we're uncovering capital in all its forms.
So you're looking for projects that are essentially enterprise, right? You're not looking for I want to build a widget. I want to do furniture. You're actually looking for I want to set up a brick and mortar shop or maybe an online shop.
We're actually open. We're looking to powering projects across education, social impact, entrepreneurship. We're looking for the inventors, the musicians, the artists, the bloggers, and the hint of what we have, of what we see and what others are saying is part of a rising Latino creative economy that knows no boundaries. And so we're obviously wanting to be an open platform. If it fits the bill of benefiting the community and powering Latino genius everywhere, we want to do that. We're supportive of those campaigns.
So I have one more question. I think, one, it takes a lot of work to get to this point, so good job on kind of getting here.
Thank you.
But what's the process to get a project on the platform? I know you mentioned that there was 2, and since June, so it seems like there might be some bottleneck there. So why not more projects?
Since communicating with individuals that have provided us with great feedback, we've gotten tremendous publicity, but we're not banking on publicity. We're banking on building our business. And we've actually are working towards our first 10, our first 25, and our first 50 projects. So actually, since helping our first 2 projects, these project creators raise money, we've gotten some more individuals that are ready to launch their campaign and take it to another level. But what's even more powerful is the fact that Indiegogo didn't start, they started at a film festival. So they're looking at a community within a community, and they're tapping into events and strategic partnerships with people that have a platform to accelerate awareness and bring people to the community. And for us, it's been the chicken and the egg, but it's the social proof and the response that we're getting that is accelerating what we're doing.
Great. On that note, let's give a round of applause.
Thank you.
Crowdismo. All right.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard Garcia. I am the co-founder of Blive.com. A little bit about us. Blive is an audience engagement software as a service platform built by former Yahoos. We target brands, digital agencies, PR firms, and media companies. Blive empowers our customers to host live, immersive, engaging conversations on their website. Why is this exciting? In 2016, the Forrester Group has projected that the interactive marketing industry will be a $77 billion industry. The current addressable market is $5 billion, and it's increasing at the rate of 26% per year. A little bit about us. Myself, I am the co-founder of Blive, as I mentioned. I am also the former lead developer on the Yahoo front page. If you visited www.yahoo.com from 2005 to 2006, that was me. I also managed to persuade my buddies at Yahoo to come work with me. That would be Ramzi Kassar. He was one of the early product managers on Yahoo Personals, as well as my buddy John Grigorski, who was one of the early engineers on my Yahoo. Jeff Cohen, my co-founder, is a successful serial entrepreneur. You actually may have seen Jeff. He's made about 4 appearances on Shark Tank. He was the folding guitar guy. And to his credit, congratulating him, he just signed a guitar deal with Fender Guitar. Oh. And oops. Sorry about that. So just one quick shout out, something about Blive. We're graduates of the Manos Accelerator. I don't know if you heard of that. Manos Accelerator is a Google-backed accelerator specifically for Latino entrepreneurs. So I want to give a shout to all my carnales who are here, who are also pitching. There they are. Raise your hands. So what we do is we move customers from like to love. Traditional marketing is asynchronous. It can take a really long time to convert a customer to a registered user or a paying customer. Social media helps you identify these large groups of interest, but it falls short in conversion and retention. Online marketing techniques, they lack the personal touch. They also decrease engagement, conversion, and revenue. Our traction, we've raised $2.3 million. We've built an enterprise-grade, real-time platform. We've hosted over 2 million online event attendees. We generate over 60,000 comments per month, and we have 4,300 producers that actually create these events. Some of these paid clients, hopefully you've heard of them: the LA Times, the US Department of State, Shell Oil, Baltimore Sun, Walgreens. Here's a staggering statistic. 97% of major brands tweeted in 2013. That's jaw-dropping. But what you should also know is it creates a lot of potential problems. Case study. A couple of weeks ago, JP Morgan wanted to run a Twitter chat for students interested in investment banking. So they created this hashtag called AskJPM. And what happened? It was hashtaged. Dun, dun, dun. This great idea turned into a liability for JP Morgan. The chat was canceled. And invariably, the funny tweets just followed, of which was my personal favorite. How are you planning to spend the savings made from firing your social media team? Ouch. That's a huge ouch. So you could say that Blive, in general, is a better Twitter for brands. So the future of social marketing. You use social media to attract your users, to engage them, to convert them, to retain them, and repeat. Blive, in its current iteration, takes care of that top portion. We attract users, and we allow you to engage them. The next generation of Blive will actually be able to create the entire beeswax there. Another case study, Shell Oil. The goal, interactive online discussions between oil executives and the general public on the future of energy. That has conflict written all over it. Luckily, with Blythe, Shell was able to successfully demonstrate that commitment to an engaging global audience about the future of energy. Some stats around that event: over 6,000 visits that lasted over 5 minutes on the average, and with 688 registrations, just from this one event alone. And to me, the most interesting stat was the number of downloaded transcripts. So it was 232 downloaded transcripts. So this is what Blythe looks like. You probably can't see it. We went to a huge effort to make sure that Blythe was easily themable so that it could rest easily inside a brand's webpage. It needs to look exactly like the brand. Blythe is actually this big square here. In this case, this is a question and answer service. As you can see, it blends in perfectly with the page itself. You'd never know that Blythe is there, for the exception of something in the very bottom here. It's not seen here. It just says powered by Blythe. So the best proof that you're doing a great job is when you get a kick-ass testimonial. Events of these nature would not only be too risky when compared to traditional social media, but frankly impossible without the Blythe platform. This is from the PR agency of Shell. So briefly, this is what Blythe looks like on the event end. On my far left are my content modules. This is where I create all of my modules that allow audience engagement. The approved stream is everything the public would see. The pending stream is where I can have comments, tweets that are ready to be approved. If JP Morgan had used this one feature, that chat would have been successful. And here we have a Twitter search so that you can easily just pull appropriate tweets into your stream. The pricing model, we offer 3 plans. We have a freemium model, a pay-as-you-go type, as well as a 1-year subscription. Oops, sorry about that. So depending on the amount of users that you bring in, we'll charge you a different price. So Blythe is well positioned for big growth. We've built a stellar team and a stellar real-time audience engagement platform. Blythe is a high-margin, high-revenue opportunity with immediate large brand appeal. We're asking for a Series B investment of $7 million. This enables us to modernize sales and marketing in today's socially enabled world. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Blythe, and we bring people closer to the brands they love. Thanks.
So we have a minute and a half for questions.
Cool. Hey, Richard, it's Mario here. All right, so question on, what's been your most successful engagement, as well as, how is this different from Yahoo Groups? How is this different from a forum? Because what you essentially created is a forum, right? A forum for discussion. And then that world probably has a lot of competition. So let me know kind of what's been your most successful engagement in terms of numbers. By the numbers, like how many people joined into that discussion, and then also how do you compete with the rest of the other products?
So let me take on the first question, which has been our most successful event. That would be Photoshop World with the Kelby Media Group. They have a weekly event where they have Photoshop tutorials, and they have at least 1,000 simultaneous users at the same time. How is this different from Yahoo Groups? The problem that we're really solving, there was a time when, maybe about 10 years ago, when it was considered suicide to send your users to another website. Now we do it without thinking of it. You're a brand, I have my users, yeah, just go to our Twitter page. Yeah, just go to our Facebook page. That used to be suicide. What happened? So what we do is actually, we leverage that same social media traffic and we allow you to put it back on your own website with an embeddable widget. So that's how we're different from Yahoo Groups. We also have tons of moderation, and actually that moderation, which is where we were learned at Yahoo as well. So it's interesting that you mentioned Yahoo Groups.
All right. Richard, thank you.
Hello, I'm Christian Galindo. I'm the head of product and analytics at Leap Commerce. So, quick summary of what we do. We're a social recommendation and discovery platform that leverages the power of word-of-mouth marketing to directly drive engagement and sales. Now, there's three components there. The first is leveraging the ever-growing footprint that consumers leave behind when they interact online socially. The second is providing a recommendation and discovery platform that increases relevance and a personalized shopping experience. And finally, the word-of-mouth marketing, the integration of that to decrease doubt during purchase consideration. And I'm going to touch upon each of those three. So traditionally, web analytics focused on the specific information about the users themselves. So you could get some log information, search, browse history. If a retailer had a proprietary database of customer information, you could use that as well. But now with the advent of social media, you can know the customer. You can zoom out and know the customer by looking at the world around them. And with that, you have a really rich, deep understanding of who they are. You know about their friends. You know about their likes. You even understand their sentiment. And you can do it now in real time and at scale. And we all know that word of mouth is the best form of marketing. It's kind of off-center, but basically, in a study, the most trusted form of marketing is recommendations from known friends or other people that you know. And that's over 90% of people trust that type of marketing. The second most is customer reviews, and that's over 70%. And those have grown 20 percentage points in the last few years. Whereas the traditional types of marketing, newspaper ads, display ads, TV, newspaper, fewer than half the people trust that type of marketing. Also, product recommendations have had a profound impact on retail sales online. It's been estimated that a third of Amazon revenue is generated from their recommendation engine, and 75% of Netflix revenue comes from their recommendation and discovery platform. So at the core of what we do, we want to provide a closed-loop solution that incorporates all three of these aspects. So what we do is we match user-generated content with the right products and the right users to drive sales. So in essence, what we do, we ingest a product catalog from a retailer. We then use the social signals that we glean from our beachhead is Facebook to create user profiles. And then we also ingest social content. Again, our beachhead product is through Facebook to bring in the word of mouth, the earned media, the word of mouth marketing. We combine that together and we create meaningful clusters and associate of consumers and recommend products to them that are highly relevant and personalized and associate the appropriate user-generated content. Now, typically, when people talk about social commerce, or companies have spoken about social commerce, they refer to a shopping experience where you get recommendations from your own group of friends. And this is very limiting because not only do your friends have to be on the same retail site as you, but they have to have and leave commentary, but they have to have the same taste. And it's not very often that that's the case. In fact, I think the best example, not quite in the retail setting, but in the publisher world, Yahoo had an engagement toolbar that they had for several years, and they decommissioned it because it was based only on what your friends were reading. And you know, I'm a sports fan. I'm not really interested in reading the same articles that my wife is, who's more interested in fashion. So what we do is extend the idea of the social graph to what we call the product graph. And that's the total interconnection between people, products, and brands. Once we have that mapped together, we can create meaningful clusters of people, even if they're not connected to each other socially. And we call this our decision twin methodology, and it's the backbone behind our analytics engine. So here's a quick demo of a demo site. Again, we use Facebook as our beachhead. This is a retailer's Facebook fan page where they can nurture, they can generate user-generated content. Then when a user who's logged in via Facebook Connect comes to the retail site, we can immediately, without them actually doing any browse or search, provide highly relevant content or products to them based on who they are and what cluster they're in, and the associated user-generated content. It's a very simple setup. You can do it in our portal, where the retailer can create a campaign and actually curate the content to make sure there's no negative commentary showing up where they don't want it. And all it takes is one line of JavaScript code that the retailer puts it on the site. Now, this is one solution that we have, and it's aimed at mid-market retailers who don't have the bandwidth or the technical expertise to integrate our solution natively. It's essentially a widget where we host, and they just call it with the JavaScript. So the benefits there's benefits to the consumer and the retailer. Obviously, from the consumer, you have a socially based user profiling and clustering that's portable. No matter where you go, if Leap is powering the recommendation and discovery, you'll get relevant products recommended to you. You'll also have the social commentary that decreases the doubt during the purchase consideration and provides that humanizing element that makes you think that this is the product. It reduces doubt in the purchase process, gives you greater assurance that what you're buying is the right thing. And then from the retailer side, you're already spending a lot of time and effort as a retailer on social media. It's a complete marketing cost center. You're generating buzz on Facebook, or trying to get users to talk and like and share on Facebook, and generating buzz on Twitter. This provides a way of bringing all that hard-earned media onto your site itself and turn what was a cost center into a profit center. And then with a more engaged audience, they become more loyal, you increase lifetime value, and you instill advocacy among your customers. And in our initial pilots, we've seen, with our solution, we've seen engagement up to 50%, increase up to 50%, and sales up to an 8% increase. So our next steps. While we're focused on retailers right now, there's nothing to say that we can't use the same type of recommendation and discovery beyond retail. We've already started speaking to some publishers where we could recommend and target people with content. And the idea there is to keep the eyes on the page a longer amount of time, and you can serve more ads. We also realize that while Facebook is the most universal and it's easiest to integrate, and mid-market solution makes sense, there's other data sources that we'd like to use both on the targeting side. For instance, DMP, we have a partnership with Acxiom, where they have a cookie on every computer in America. We can use that for hyper-targeting, as well as from the content side. In cases where we don't have the appropriate Facebook content, we could backfill with product reviews from Bazaar Voice, for instance. We also are looking to continue the algorithm development in our back end to make it a much more robust source of clustering and predictive capabilities given different data input. And of course, we're looking for Series A funding to make this all happen. Thank you. Happy to take any questions.
Couple minutes for questions.
All right, so a question here on how do you see, what is the similarities or differences between word of mouth versus influencers? So individual influencers, like I have over 10 million Twitter
Right, so influencers typically are more for the awareness and consideration phase in the marketing funnel, where you have people talking about your brand and spreading the news. But what we're doing is saying, okay, well, that's interesting, and that's great that you can spread information or you get people to like and share, but we want to take that content, and instead of using it for awareness, if it's on Facebook or on Twitter, let's bring it onto the retail site itself to help at the bottom of the purchase funnel, where it's to help increase the conversion rates. So it's a fundamental difference, whereas the influence marketing is great for spreading the message and has been traditionally a cost center. This is turning into a profit center because you can see direct ROI.
Another question? Or? No? All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Leap Commerce.